guys, welcome back to another installation of Judging Books by Their Covers. Before we get started, I just wanted to say if you've subscribed to my channel recently, thank you so much. You know it means so much to me. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. It costs you nothing, and you'll get notified when I upload new videos. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share this video with anyone that you think might enjoy it. It would also mean so much to me if you could do that for me. Thank you. Today, we still have 5 books that we will be looking at and for me, reacting to for the very first time, and then we'll be placing them into a rank completely blind. And the rank goes from 1 being me most likely to pick up the books and most likely to read them, to 5 probably not super likely, but I still appreciate the art of the cover. That being said, let's go ahead and dig in. This is really cute. So the first book that we're looking at today is called Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, a novel. And the author is Jessie Q. Sutanto. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Now, the title and the author's name are kind of in the middle. Well, the title is taking up the entire middle of the page, but the author's name is at the very bottom. But below the author's name, it does say national best-selling author of Dial A for Aunties, or Aunties, however you want to pronounce that. And then there is an image behind all of these words, but there is one more sentence at the top. There is a review quote that says at the very top of the cover, "A compulsively readable story with intrigue, humor, and above all, heart." And that's by Lori Elizabeth Flynn, author of The Girls Are All So Nice Here. I like that review quote. It does make me even more interested. So the title and the author's name are like in red and white font, except that the only word that's in red is murderers. Fitting. And then the rest of it's in like a white, off-white font. Now, the image that is behind all the words is like a drawn, maybe computer-generated image, and it looks like the vertical, like plastic blinds on a window that you can pull a string and then it closes and then you open a string. It's like the slim, not vertical, the slim horizontal blinds, you know, on a window, like, you know what I mean? In between the title and the review quote, kind of towards the top of the page, is space where we can see an old lady, and we know she's an old lady because she has very gray hair that's kind of poofy, you know, like think Golden Girls hair, and gray eyebrows, little granny reading glasses, green like ball earrings, and she's pulling the horizontal blinds down just a little bit so her eyes can peek out, and they're looking to, if you're looking at the cover, looking to the right. So it looks very suspicious, very intriguing for sure. So I do love this. If I had to guess what this book is about, I would say it's definitely an old lady who loves to give advice. And the question is she a murderer herself? Does she just find the concept of murder and covering up murder interesting? I want to know how she's involved, because I can guarantee she is. And it does interest me a lot. So I do like this cover. It definitely gets my attention and is very cute. Like it doesn't feel very serious. This feels like a very funny book. Even without that review quote, if you just looked at the cover, you'd be like, there's no way this is a serious book. There's definitely humor involved. So I do really like it. And I do think I would pick it up to look at it for sure. I don't know if it would be number 1, I'm picking this up and taking this home without even questioning anything. So I think I'm going to put this at number 2. Wow. This is quite the cover. The next book that we're looking at today is called Blink and you'll miss it. Now, I believe that at the top there are the authors and possibly illustrators. It doesn't differentiate which one is which, but at the top it says Parker, Sheridan, Browning, and Simpson. I'm going to guess that they are the authors and illustrators. I'm not sure which though. So on this cover, it's definitely drawn. So that's why I said illustrators, because it could be one illustrator or two, who knows? Or three, and one person wrote it and three people drew, who knows? The drawn cover, there's, I want to say it's a girl because she looks young, like my age or younger. So she might be in her teens, she might be in her 20s, but this is so hard to describe. This is quite a cover. There's a girl and she's kind of standing, but we're looking at her from a very interesting perspective. We're looking at her as if we're looking up from kind of down from her side, if that makes sense. Like if she was like on a level above us, we would be standing to like her left, looking up at her. So it's like we're looking up diagonally at her, if that makes sense. It's so hard to describe. But I say that matters because she's standing there and then there's replicas, copies of her from directly behind her and then continuing on in a line behind her, and then it spirals behind her. Just copies of her just forming a line from behind her and then spilling out into a spiral towards the back, like the top of the cover, if that makes sense. So it's almost like, okay, you know, like when you see people like going really fast, like the Flash, or when they draw them in like comic books and they draw them like several times to make it look like, oh, here they were 1 second, here they are the next second, like, you know what I mean? So that's what it looks like, but like very close together. And she looks very worried. Like, she has red hair and bangs, very poofy red hair and bangs, and thin eyebrows, and she's wearing a buttoned up overshirt that's kind of open down the middle, and I can't really tell what she's wearing underneath that. It's like netted. And it rolled up sleeves, and that's really it. There's no other really big details about her, but she looks worried. She's looking ahead of her, like straight ahead of her, very concerned. Like she looks like she's about to go face something, or has to go face something that she's not really sure she can. That's what I'm getting from her facial expression. The rest of the cover, like other than the line of her that you see going out from behind her, is like a mix of colors. There's some greens and some purples, all kind of swirled, and even some blues kind of swirled around in the background. Almost like she's like in her head or in some other kind of universe, multiverse. So this sounds kind of like maybe an adventure book or action, possibly to do with magic or superpowers. That's just a guess. But there's definitely some sort of foreboding element or villain that I'm going to guess, is the main character, the protagonist, has to face. So I definitely am intrigued. But it does seem more comic book-like than book with just words. I don't know what to call that. But I might be wrong. I have no idea. I don't know. The possibility of what this story could be about definitely intrigues me. But I don't normally pick up comic books or anime. I tend to really just like creating my own images in my head. So that's why when I pick up books, I'm typically just picking up novels. So this is not something I would typically pick up. However, the title does interest me. Blink and you'll miss it. It's like, what could you possibly miss? And her expression on her face, it's like, I really want to know what she's looking at. So I'm a little torn. Definitely not something I would normally pick up, but I am intrigued. So because it's not something I would normally pick up, I think I'm going to put it at number 5. but I am intrigued. And so if I knew someone who read this, or I did decide to pick it up, I would read the back and try to see what it's about and think about it on that aspect. But this is going to go at number 5 because it's not something I would normally read personally, but I do love the art and the cover a lot. This looks cute. So the next book that we're looking at today is called The Dogs of Venice. And this cover looks drawn as well. Oh, the author is Stephen Rowley. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. I'm so sorry. Underneath the author's name, it does say New York Times bestselling author of The Celebrants. Now, the author's name and the title are at the very top of the cover, and then the rest of it is an image, a drawing, and it looks like we're in Venice because there's water underneath and then a bridge going over the water, and that's what's centered in the page. The water's at the very, very bottom of the cover, and then there's the bridge, and then you see buildings in the background that, if I had to guess where Venice, look like Venice. But on the bridge, there's, I think, a man and a dog. The man is wearing a very, like, bright blue, almost like, what's that color called? Like cayenne blue jacket or sweater with a red scarf. So very bright, very noticeable. And the dog looks kind of like, I think it's a brown, like a light brown dog. I'm not really sure what kind of breed I would guess this dog is. Like maybe some sort of retriever or something, but the ears are very pointed and standing up, so kind of hard to tell. But it's a medium to big size dog. So, and the dog is actually like standing up with his paws on the railing while the man is leaning with his arms on the railing, which that's very cute. Oh my gosh, and I didn't even notice this. So in the background, in one of the buildings, there's also, it looks like a poodle, just like standing in one of the windows of one of the buildings in the background, and that's really cute. Now, I am a dog person. I do love dogs, so that does intrigue me. But the title, The Dogs of Venice. And then there's a man and a dog. So it's not just about dogs, it's also about the man. You would think. It's like, why else is the man there? I don't know. If the story was just about dogs, I think I'd be more interested. But I don't know if I would be as interested if it's the story of the man and the dog. Not that I'm not interested at all, just level of interest, you know what I mean? So I don't know. This doesn't really feel like something I would pick up either. As much as I am curious, I might just pick it up just to see what the back is, but I don't feel particularly drawn to this book. So I'm going to put this at number 4. So we only have spots 1 and 3 left. Ooh. Oh, I love this cover. Okay, the next book that we're looking at today is called Guardian Demon instead of Guardian Angel. The author is Aurora Asher, I hope is how you pronounce the name. And above the author's name, which is at the very bottom, it says New York Times bestselling author. Now, at the very top of the cover, it says Hellbent. That might be the series. So this might be a book in a series. And so the title is like dead center in the page, but in between Guardian and Demon is a pair of angel wings and a halo. And then there's interesting art all over the page. So the cover itself is a very unique color. I do not see this color very frequently, which is probably what caught my attention first. It's like an extremely dark teal. Like it's very dark. It's closer to black than it is to green, but there's the hint of green there. It's a very dark color. And the art on the page is like yellow gold, and there's little images everywhere. Like the halo and the angel wings are yellow, the gold color. There's little like S swirls, things that you would see like in pretty calligraphy kind of everywhere, and then some puffy looking lines that might be some clouds near those fancy looking squiggles. And I'm kind of thinking there's little At the bottom of the page, above the author's name, there's like two little figures, one on each side of the page, still in that gold color. I think they might be little Cupid babies, like little angel babies. They're little babies with wings. And I think there's a couple more flying around the page. There's also a couple of birds at the top of the page too. So there's birds and flying babies. The Guardian Demon, like the title isn't a very fancy calligraphy. Oh, by the way, the O in demon has little devil horns on it. So I'm kind of obsessed with this cover. It's so pretty, but also I am so intrigued. You only hear the term guardian angel, so guardian demon sounds amazing. I have to know what this is about. But also I would just pick this up because I'm obsessed with I love the color. I love the art. It's just so pretty. This is definitely number 1. So that means our last book for the day goes at number 3, regardless of how I feel about it. I feel kind of good that it goes at number 3 because that way I don't have to feel like, oh man, it shouldn't have gone that low. It's in the middle. Oh wow, this is a very strange cover. I'm just gonna say that. The last book that we're looking at today that goes at number 3 is called I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com. That's an amazing title. That's a very strange title. And a very hilarious concept too, because it gives you everything you need to know what this book is about. The author is Kimberly Lemming. Isn't a lemming one of those birds that like jumps off cliffs or something? There's a little bit of a like sentence, like a tagline in the middle of the page that says lions and dinosaurs and sexy aliens. Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Cute. Very cute. The title of the book is at the very bottom of the page, kind of at a tilt in a very big white font. And under the title, in the very, very bottom of the page, it says a must read. That's by New York Times bestselling author Rudy Dixon. So the art on this cover is definitely what caught my attention first, because although the title is very enticing and noticeable, the art, it's definitely drawn. It looks drawn, possibly computer generated, but it's definitely not a photograph. There's some sort of, I just gotta guess. This looks like a demon, but that's probably the alien. It's hard to describe. He's got like onyx black skin and he's got these horns coming out of the top of his forehead, like straight up, has very red orange hair, and is possibly has like a tail. Like I think that's their tail. And they have pointed ears as well. I can't see what they're wearing because they are holding in their arms like bridal style. Probably the main character that is saying I got abducted and now I'm trapped in a rom-com, because looks like a woman. She is wearing like kind of like honestly an outfit you'd wear on an adventure. She's wearing a green t-shirt, like khakis pants that go down to her ankles, and then she's wearing red tennis shoes, but she's also holding a camera, and she has like medium big curly brown hair, and she looks very surprised. I would be too. And then behind those two and around them, they look like they're in prehistoric times, because there's old there's plants like ferns coming out of the corners everywhere. There's a lion running behind them, not at them, but just running. You can see the lion. And then also behind them on the right, there is a huge Tyrannosaurus Rex that is screaming, bellowing, whatever it is that they do. And the background, you can see like, it looks like 2 planets that you can see in the background in the sky. And the sky is like blue and kind of, there's like white clouds and everything. So this is quite the adventurous cover, and I would definitely be picking it up to look at it and what it could be about. I mean, the title pretty much gives it away, but still. So I'm pretty happy with this going at number 3. So that is all for this week's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of today's rank. How do you think it turned out? I'm pretty happy with it. This is, if I had to rank this again, knowing all of them without ranking it blind, I think I'd put them all in these spots. So, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I always want to know if you guys agree with me or disagree. But that is all for this week's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.